recording. Fine. So step next one is creating the API. So let's go back to our API now. That API issue, and in here, right? So if you look at the API, see this is the update. Like update means patch, right? Patch. So we're going to look at the patch API. Okay, so that must be inside the edit ID, right? We added both in here, delete and update. Remember, delete and then other one was patch, right? That is for update. So in this one, what we are getting params, right? ID. When you click one of the issue, it will, basically you have that ID, correct? The ID is linked to that issue. So you're gonna get that ID, and then you try to find the item, right? Basically fetch. You're gonna fetch that. Let's see, where you fetching, right? Uh, that is a session, okay? We just a restriction, right? That is a session validating, right? That is different. Then from the body you get all the data, correct? Because you are updating. When you're updating, you of course you're gonna get all the data in the body, right? That is request.json. We get that. And validation. Now we're gonna validate the data, correct? And if the validation is success or not success, then you return 404 error. And if the validation is success, then you go back here, find the unique, that particular object. Okay, you find that object, right? If no object, then return the error message. But if there is an object, then you just update, right? Update the issue again with the where that ID and the data you pass. Same thing, okay? This is all same, right? But now when we update, we must pass one more item here. Next time when we update, what you're gonna select the user, right? You just in the field, in the selection field, you select the user. When you select the user will be automatically update its ID to the issue object, okay? Because each issue is an object, and inside there we're gonna add the ID now, right? So that is what we're gonna do. So how are we gonna do now, right? That's the question. So first we have to look at the important part here is validation. Where is the validation? Let's go back. Validation. Here. Create issue schema, right? So create issue schema. That is the app validation schema. Okay. So let's check this validation and try to modify this, right? Because this validation is used in different places. Remember that. So we have to think about that also. So that is within the app. Let's go back here and validation. Good. So now see, this is a create issue schema, right? This has only title and description. Now next time maybe we will be sending the user, what was that, assigned to user ID, right? So we have to add something here. So, and this validation is used in other place also, like when you are I think you updating and then maybe you creating the issue, there you are using this. So we cannot change this one, but what we can do is let's make a copy of this and let's call this one maybe patch, right? Patch issue schema, okay? And then inside here we're gonna add now the new item. So okay, so we're gonna call it ASSIGNED, assigned to issue sorry, USER, user ID, right? ID, and then G, right, dot jot, right? We're getting the jot, and that will be string, that ID will be string. And we're gonna make it maybe mean length, let's give it minimum 1 character, right? And if there is the next value we can pass is some kind of string maybe, right, or message, so we can call it assigned to user ID is required, right? Assigned to user ID is required. Okay, if you cannot, if you don't select anything, right, and you try to go here, this message will be popped up. So that is what we're gonna do. And then max will be dot max character, how much we're gonna add. So we're gonna make it something, maybe, you know, let's make it 255, something like that, right? Dot, and here we can validate with nullable, right? So nu nullable, I think nullable, yeah, that is also we can add. Save. So we just add the new property now, right, in our validation. That is all. So one more thing, you know, we can, I think we can add here max also, you know, let's add max, right? Max, maybe this is the description, so how much we're gonna put, right? How much carat 6, maybe 5, I don't know how much you can put, something like that is okay. And then after that, oh, there will be comma, you know. So that is a max character. But you know, the thing is now, right, sometimes we just assigning the issue to the user, right? That means in that time you are not sending the title and description, there is already user in the database. We are just, you know, assigning one of the issue to the user, that's it. So in that time, okay, so in the issue you're not sending title and description, you're just creating new, you know, like ID of the user, right? That is all you're doing. So now this must be like a, you know, we have to tell them this will be basically optional, right? We have to make all this optional, then it will not complain. Okay, so let's make this also optional. All this will be optional because maybe there will be, maybe not, right? Yeah, so I think that this is nullable, right? Yeah, that is fine, I believe. Okay, so let's leave it like that. And then what we're gonna do now, right? Here also we're gonna change this. Here we're gonna add this max character. Yeah, so this is just the path issue schema, right? This will be our validation, let's say object. Okay, or yeah, validation object. So that is what we're going to use now in our route. Okay, so here we're going to import path issue schema. That is what we're going to use in this one. Okay, and here also we're going to change to path schema. Okay, so now, right now, so we have to, let's try to understand here. Now we got the validation done, so the first step, what gonna happen, right, in the paths here. Let's look at this. First thing, we okay, this session is there. Okay, that is fine. That is just like if someone is logged in, that they can only update, that is different. Okay, but we're gonna get the whole body, right? You're gonna get something from the body. Then after you're gonna do the validation, that is fine. If there is no validation, right, then you return this, that is okay. Now, right, before we move to the issue, okay, wait, Prisma issue find unique, right? I think we have to do something here, right? So okay, so let's do one thing. This body has everything, right? Like title, description, and the assign ID to user, right? So what I will do, I will destructure that here. Okay, let's do that one. That is the first step we're gonna do. Const, we're gonna have title, description, and assign to user ID, right, from a body. Okay, Clear? Because we don't have to write like body dot title, body dot description and all that. We don't have to do that. With this it's gonna be easy to write. The next step is so now, right, we have to check if this user is there in the system or not, with this ID, right? So let's do that one, because sometimes you might getting title, description, sometimes you just getting the user ID. So first we're gonna do let's call it const user, right, equal to Prisma dot user dot find maybe unique, and we know where clause, and I think ID, right? So ID colon assigned user ID. Okay, so you're gonna get, this will give you the user, right? This will give you the user. So let's verify now. If no user, we're just checking, right? Then we just return next response dot I think JSON, right? JSON, and then we're gonna pass maybe some message, right? Let's pass it here. So let's call it error message or message only, that is fine, and we call it no user found. Okay, like that. And the status we're gonna add 400. Good enough. So see what we have done up to here. We have, oh sorry guys, so up to here we have done nothing, right? If you look at here, this is the same from yesterday, the session. Then body, you're gonna get anything you send for update. Just imagine body can have title, description, sometimes just the ID, right, in the body. Then you have the validation, so we modify our validation, right? So validation will do the check. I mean, when you validating, things are maybe optional, right? So it will not complain. Okay, sometimes you have something, maybe sometimes you don't have. And if there is, in the case of ID, if there is no ID, it will be nullable, right? Means basically null, it will just create null there. So now we destructure it, our body, right? Whatever you get here, you destructure. Now you have title, description, and assigned to user ID, right? You got that ID also. Okay, the next point is we're gonna find with this ID, user ID, right? We're gonna check if there is user or not. If there is user, if there is no user, then return this one. Done. Yeah, I think that is all, right? And then after we have issue again, a Prisma find unique, where you can like you're gonna find, basically you're gonna check in the issue, right, if there is somebody with ID or not. If there is no, then we can call it invalid issue, correct? But if there is issue already, right, that issue you can update, correct? So update issue, await Prisma, that is fine, this is fine, right? So here now we don't have to do body title. Let's write it this structure way, right? Just title and just description, and we're gonna put what else? I think assigned issue, right? Assigned to user ID. Good. Yeah, that is all we have to do. So either you're gonna send, either you will be sending this sometimes, or you just updating this, right, to that particular issue. Good. So now JSON update issue, that is what we're sending here. So, yeah, so that is, I think that is good enough. Okay, that is good enough for our validation, not validation but basically for our API, right? So it should work. So let me commit, right? We can call it what we can call this, implement the API, right, for update. Implement the API for update. So the problem will be, right, when you're not tracking all this from top to bottom, then you're gonna lose, right? So when you practice, you just think, like make a connection, right, from the user perspective, like user, what are the data you're getting from user, what data you will get when you update, things like that, right? But in any case, not user, but when you creating issue and when you assigning user to the issue, there is two different things, and the same update API is handling both work. All right, so that is done. So next will be, what's next now? You're gonna have, let's see. So now basically our API is done. Let me close all these things. So our API is done, right? Our API is done. So next step is like work with the select part, like you're gonna select the user and then you want to update, right? Call the API and update that ID to the API, or maybe our database, not API but database. So how are we gonna do that? That is the next thing. So let's go back and find our assign select right here. Yeah, so let's see if this is the problem is fixed now, right? Let me go back to the desktop. So once we make the change to API, it should work, So if I go to the issue, so here, right, list page async issue. So error converting field assigned to is user ID, right, of aspect non-nullable to type string found incompatible with the value of null. Okay, let's go to our one time. Let's check our database, right? That is the Mongo Atlas, and see. I don't know if I have to remove all that one time, but it should update, So issue tracker, that is okay. And if we go to the collection, right, so all this data you're not we're not gonna find, right, in this all issue. We're not gonna, okay, so that is the user, correct? That is the account user. Let's go to the issue, right? Yeah, so we're not gonna find that assigned to user ID, right? Object ID is string. That is fine, but I don't know if it's complaining for the rest of them, because most of them don't have that assigned to ID, right? So 216. So I might have to change, right, something here, but okay, I will fix that later. Okay, I will fix, but for now, but how are we gonna do now, right? If there is no way to select, find many. So when you try to find many, right, it's saying error converting the field assigned to issue ID of expected nullable type string found incompatible value of null. Okay, so that is so let's see. App list issue page right here. So we getting issues here. Okay, fine, we getting all these issues. Okay, that is okay. Now we map through, right, and then display that. So we have made now, right, we have made that optional also. We have made that optional already. Let's do one more, I think one more step, and then it should fix the problem, right, I believe, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's do one thing. I will stop here. Okay, let me fix the issue, and then maybe after lunch we're gonna finish this out. Okay, maybe 10-15 minutes will be more, right, and we'll be done. So because without, with this issue, it will be not a good idea, right, to keep looking at that. So I'll just stop here, and then after lunch we have maybe 15 to 20 minutes more class, and then we'll finish this section. There is like now basically select, right, we're going to select the issue, or basically assigning to the user, right, that is one part. And once we've done with that one, the next part will be, like displaying some error notification with the toast, and last maybe refactoring our code, right, little bit of. So yeah, so let me stop this.